Welcome to Muscle Maintenance with In Shape Fitness. I'm Coach Kim. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're doing a workout I call the burpee sandwich. Simple by design and yet really challenging. Burpees are the sandwich bread of exercises. So we're going to do a session. It's going to last about 12 minutes where we dynamically warm up and focus on your posture, and then practice simple burpees. And by that I mean simple, no jumping. I actually call these burpeetas because it's like a little burpee. You squat down and you walk your legs back to the prone position and then walk your legs forward. Of course, if you want to adapt to the military style burpees with the jumps, that is perfectly fine, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But being able to do a burpee really well, getting down to the floor into prone position and then being in the squatted position and then standing up properly is a functional, foundational component of your exercise life that I actually see a lot of fit people do really wrong. So we're going to practice really good burpees, and then we're going to add all these really cool things in the middle, which is why I call burpees the sandwich bread of exercises, because you can really put a bunch of different things in the middle there and make them really fun, really comprehensive in terms of working your entire body. Obviously, we're going to boost your metabolism and your caloric output. We're going to get your energy going and hopefully have a little bit of fun as we talk about the benefits of getting some little bit of exercise into your morning routine every single day. So let's get started with the postural systems check. I want to make sure that we do this podcast in 12 minutes. We're at 2 minutes now, so I want to get you moving. So you stand up really tall. You do not need shoes on your feet. And like all of our sessions here at the In Shape Fitness company, whether it's this podcast or a couple of the other ones that we do, we don't bring equipment into the routine, and we combine modalities so that you're never just doing yoga, you're not really just doing cardio sort of workouts. You're doing a blend of everything, which we have formulated into 8 categories of movements. Your balance and your stability is one of the main components and foundational components of all of our routines. So postural systems check is something that we do at the start. You get your head back and make sure that you are lining up your ears with your shoulders. That helps make sure that your center of gravity is where it needs to be, and that you're not pulling on the back of your neck, straining the back of your neck, and then collapsing the front of your neck where your airway is, where your digestive pathway gets started. So you want to make sure that you have a head that's situated right on top of your neck, and then you focus on your shoulders. Your shoulders are back, lined up with those ears, which means that your clavicle is fully open, your chest is open, and you're not pulling on the upper part of your back again with those closed computer keyboard or steering wheel shoulders that so many modern people have. And then you think about your tummy muscles. You want to zip up your tummy muscles by pulling in the belly button, sort of in and up a little bit towards your spine. Your tailbone should be tucked in. You're breathing deeply, by the way, in through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. When people are outside, I like to use the term smell the air and bellow the air out. So smell air in, bellow out. Inside an apartment or a home, the air might not be quite as fresh and lovely, but if you use the nose, activating all of those nasal receptors inside of your nose to smell the air around you, that helps efficiently get oxygen into your respiratory system, which of course pumps it into your bloodstream and out to your muscles. And that is a huge component of being able to sustain a level of energy and exercise through your day. Okay, now think about your legs. Make sure that you're not pressing into the floor with just your heels, and make sure that you are not using the right leg versus the left leg more, or left versus right. So let's get started now. We want to do a little bit of warming up before I get you into a burpee. So the first thing I want you to do is just separate your feet a little bit, about shoulder width apart. Let's just practice a couple of simple squats. Now, a simple squat is actually something that a lot of people also struggle with. So burpees are a little bit tricky because with a squat, what we try to explain to keep things safe for your joints, particularly for older people and knees, the idea of sitting back into a squat where you don't push your knees forward past the tips of your toes is a really good sort of just a trigger for the perfection of the movement, for the practicing and perfection of the movement. So when you sit down, and you can even sit into a regular chair, an actual chair, not an invisible one for like a workout squat, but if you sit down and then you stand up, you want to sit back, stick your butt out a little bit without arching your back, and then you squeeze your butt cheeks and press your heels into the floor to stand up. So just for the next couple of seconds, maybe for the next 20 seconds, sit back and then stand up. You inhale on your way down, you exhale as you lift back up on that exertion. The exertion is on the way up because you're pushing up against gravity. One of the second foundational priorities for all of our workouts at InShape is interacting with gravity, getting down, getting up. And that's really important because gravity is a physical force unlike pretty much anything you will possibly experience over your entire lifetime, unless you are, bound by a disability and you're in a wheelchair or some other sort of assisted component for your mobility. You're going to be sitting down and standing up, getting down to the floor and getting up your entire life. And you should be able to do that. Now, let's go all the way to the floor. So with a burpee or a burpeeta, you put your hands on the floor, you squat all the way down, and that means you are likely to push your knees past the tips of your toes. So be very careful. Of course, if you have orthopedic knee issues and your doctor has told you don't do any deep knee bending, then you shouldn't be doing this workout. You really shouldn't be doing burpees because you don't want to bend over and really alter your center of gravity and strain your back if you just drop your head down and bend your body over at your waist. That's not good for you. One major concern a lot of doctors have with older people is that they start to lose their balance, and this is when falls happen, when they try to pick something up off the floor, pick up a pencil off the floor, pick up a broken piece of glass or anything, a shoe even. So when you squat down, you want to try to keep your back straight. You want to hinge at your hips, but also bend at your knees. So be very careful when you're getting down to the floor. Now, once your hands are on the floor, remember, this is really important. You're going to walk your feet back or jump your feet back, and you want your shoulders and your hands to remain lined up vertically. So a straight line from your shoulders down to your hands. Then furthermore, you want to make sure that your hands are not mashing your heel of the hand into the floor by itself. You want to distribute your body weight to your fingers and the top part of your palm a little bit. So we call it Spider-Manning the floor. And once you're in that prone position, you can do a push-up and then bring your feet back in and stand all the way back up. Now, let's do a few of these, just simple burpees. Whether you do a push-up or not doesn't matter at all, because once you do 3 or 4 burpees, you will feel your elevated heart rate, and we are boosting your energy immediately by just elevating your heart rate, pushing that blood flow out just a little bit harder than it is when you just sort of sashay out of your bed into the bathroom or into the shower, and then try to quickly get dressed and jump out of your home to get to your work or school or whatever. So burpees should take about 20 to 30 seconds if you're doing them in the walkout version like I like to do them. If you're doing the jump back burpees, you could probably do 10 in 30 seconds if you're moving really fast and you're super strong. However you're doing it, make sure that you're breathing, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. As I said before, I'm going to give you another 30 seconds, and then we're going to start adding some other stuff in the middle. Now again, remember to keep breathing. Remember, when you're in the prone position, you're arching, an arch of your back, of the lower back, is not good. You don't want to put undue strain on your lower back, which means you need to keep your brain zeroed in on the stability of your tummy muscles. Even if you have flabbiness, you've got some fat distributed in your trunk because of, lifestyle conditions, you still have the muscles in there. You just need to activate them and keep them active, consciously keep them active. All right, now take a little bit of a break. You can rest in child's pose if you like, or you want to shake out your wrists a little bit. If you're not used to being down on the floor, that's fine. getting onto all fours is one of the best ways to stabilize and provide a stability, or a sustainable rather, exercise regimen over a long period of time. The whole business of dragging yourself to the gym twice a week or pumping iron a couple times, doing your arms one day, your legs one day, like all that sort of nuanced stuff is really not for everybody. I don't do it. I don't encourage anyone to get involved in sort of that level of an exercise regimen unless they have an everyday regimen that already provides the nourishment that the internal parts of your body need. Now, let's start again, only this time we're going to do a little bit of manipulating stuff inside the burpee middle. So squat all the way down and walk out to your prone position, to starting position at push-up. You can do a push-up if you like. But one thing I want you to do as well is stop here, pause, go to downward facing dog. Here's where we're going to build some flexibility training, some bending work, which is one of our other main priorities in terms of building exercise routines at In Shape Fitness. You go to downward dog, and then to upward dog. And then stop back at your push-up straight prone position, and then complete the burpee and stand back up. And then go back again. So let's add the push-up in for this next round. We're going to we'll probably go past the 12-minute mark for about a minute. So give me one more minute and we can keep your heart rate going for that additional 60 seconds. That is a huge boost of your metabolism. And then when you go back and listen to this podcast again, if you like, plan to just jump right into the burpees after you do that sort of dynamic systems check at the very beginning. Go right on in and start with the burpees, where you get down onto the floor, you get into prone position, one push-up, a downward facing dog, an upward facing dog, back to prone position, and then bring your feet back in and stand all the way back up. Now I want to add one other sideways movement into the middle of the burpee. And then I'll give you a couple of last minute ideas before I go, so that you can continue trying these on your own next time. The next version would be to squat all the way down and then get to prone position and then turn to a side plank. Now you need to be strong enough in your hands, your wrists, to be able to do this. If you can't, you could also drop to your elbows here carefully and then go to a side plank, and then the other side version of the side plank, right? So if you're starting on the right, then you go to the left. Starting on the left, go to the right. Then go back to the middle, and then go back to the squatted position and stand all the way back up. All right, that's 3 sort of condiments in the middle of your burpee sandwich. You've got push-ups that you can do. You can do the jump at the top. You can do the downward, or the dynamic dog, the downward dog, upward dog combination, and the side planks, or the rotational reaches that I call them sometimes. And lots of other burpee sandwich innards can be created. So there's so many different ways to make a burpee kind of a full routine with all of these added sort of facets to it once you're in the middle. Have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions. You can reach me at bodybyInshape.com, and I'll be back with another session in a couple of days.